What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And today's episode, what we're going to be simply talking about is educating you all about body fat percentage. Why? Well, at the end of the day, I'm a fat loss coach. All right, so we're going to be talking about the difference between weight loss and fat loss because that's very important to know. And second, we're going to be talking about the most effective ways to burn body fat and how to reach your goals. Now, if you guys are brand new, right, and maybe watching this or listening to the podcast, welcome. My name is Coach Joe with Heartletics.com. I'm the head coach, CEO, certified personal trainer, certified nutritionist, certified strength and conditioning coach. And my job is to help men level up in life. My job is to help men become the best version of themselves, not just physically, but mentally as well. My job is to help guys have more energy, my guys to live longer, live healthier lives. That's my job, right? Is to help these individuals that trust me with their health and fitness goals achieve these results. And just from you guys tuning in and listening in, you guys are going to start getting some of that, right? You guys are going to start getting all the tips, the tricks to succeed. And that's why if you guys have not yet subscribed already, make sure you do. Because at the end of the day, you never want to miss another future episode. So first and foremost, let's talk about the difference between fat loss and weight loss. And then we're going to talk about 3 different types of body types, right? 3 different body types when it comes to burning body fat and how that might look. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure you're staying around to the very end. Because when I share with you these 3 different body types and how realistically it is when it comes to burning body fat, odds are this is going to save you without feeling discouraged, without feeling like you need to give up because you're not seeing results. Trust me, all right? You want to make sure you stay to the end of that. Okay, so the difference between, first and foremost, weight loss and fat loss, let's break that down, okay? I'm a fat loss coach, and I hear people tell me all the time, hey, Joe, I want to lose 20 pounds. Hey, Joe, I want to lose 30 pounds. Hey, Joe, I want to lose 100 pounds. I think it's great. Right, honestly, I think if somebody's looking to improve on themselves and looking to make a transformation happen in their life, and they know that the accomplishment of, let's say, losing 50 pounds of fat is going to help them have more confidence, have more energy, I think that's freaking great, right? Hats off goes to them. But, right, I will always say this. You could be 250 pounds, okay, and get down to, let's say, 200 pounds. So you accomplished of losing, right, those 50 pounds of body fat, right, or 50 pounds of weight, I should say. Now, somebody could be at 200 pounds after they lost those 50 pounds, and one individual could be, let's say, 10% body fat. Rock hard abs, chiseled pecs, right, like they're living their best life. They're feeling really good, tons of energy, right, like this guy, he doesn't just, let's just say, talk the talk, he walks the walk, right? So this individual has a 10% body fat at 20%, or excuse me, at 200 pounds. Then we have individual B, right? They also lost 50 pounds. They went from 250 down to 200 pounds. But let's say they're at 25% body fat. So now they got a little bit of the man boobs. Now they got a little bit of the love handles, right? The spare tire I always hear from guys, right? The muffin top. It's not looking too pretty. Now, regardless, both of these individuals, right, they lost 50 pounds. That's 100% truth. But one of the individuals decided to focus on more fat loss rather than just the number on the scale going down. So when you focus on fat loss, what happens in your life? Well, your life gets amazingly better. Like, hands down. I feel great. My clients feel great. My coaches feel great. When you learn how to successfully burn body fat and you're doing things properly for your body type and goals, it is like the best feeling in the world because you're figuring out the missing piece to the puzzle, right? Why do you think that's over 42% of the U.S. is considered obese? It's because they don't know how to properly eat. They don't know how to properly train. They're compliant. They're lazy. They're stuck, right? And it's very hard when somebody is like that simply because if you're over 30% body fat, odds are you have low levels of testosterone. So now think about it, right? Lower levels of testosterone is like low sex drive, low libido, but also lacking energy, lacking motivation, lacking that drive, that passion to make a change, right? Your willpower is kind of smaller, dwindled down. So when it comes to losing weight, your main focus should be burning body fat, okay? Now, what's the main difference? Because you're probably still wondering, like, okay, so what's the difference? Like, both people, right, lost 50 pounds, but one person had a lower body fat percentage than the other. Joe, how do we lose body fat, right? How do we get to that? So how do you lose body fat successfully, right? One, you got to make sure you're eating the right amount of foods. Like, plain and simple, your calories and your macronutrients and even your micronutrients should be on spot, right? Like, it needs to be on point. Because at the end of the day, don't think you can just do intermittent fasting, okay? Cut out, right, a whole bunch of calories because you're not eating breakfast, and you're going to see that scale on the number on the scale go down. That's 100% truth. But here's the thing. You want to make sure you're burning body fat, not just losing weight. Because if an individual goes from eating 3,000 calories all the way down to 1,500 calories, that big jump in weight loss in the very beginning, odds are was obviously a lot of lean muscle tissue being lost as well. Their body's not getting enough nutrients, right? Food equals fuel, right? Just like a car, it needs gas to get from point A to point B. Well, your body needs fuel. Your body needs nutrients, right? And when it's not getting enough of the right nutrients, odds are, right, if you're not hitting enough protein, if you're not doing resistance training, you could be losing some of that muscle in that weight loss. Now, that's the issue because now your metabolism is going to start to slow down. It's called metabolic adaptation. Some other things, right, and I talk about all the time on the podcast, is to not cut out your carbohydrates. Even type 2 diabetics, I mean, Mike Berry, he's the most recent. In literally 7 weeks, Mike Berry went from having blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, type 2 diabetes medication. He's not taking any medication anymore. And like, did we cut out his carbs completely? Absolutely not. Because we understand, right, the proper way on how to educate somebody about, let's say, the glycemic index and how carbohydrates work. But not only that, understanding that carbs are a great fuel source for the body with building muscle, with burning body fat, for a healthy metabolism, healthy testosterone levels. Like, having a well-balanced approach is always going to be the best thing for somebody long-term, right? Having success long-term, not just a quick fix of cutting out carbs, right? Which obviously, right? Carbs store water in the body. Don't believe me? What happens if you drop your phone into a pool? You Google search what happens, or what do? It's going to say, take your phone, put it into a bowl of rice. That rice is going to extract all the water out of it. Same thing with oatmeal, right? What happens? You just literally do a science experiment right now. Go grab a bowl of oatmeal, put some water in it, and wait a few hours. You're going to see that that water has been absorbed by the oatmeal. That's how it works in the body, people. So when you cut out your carbohydrates, you're losing water weight, not purely body fat. I'm not saying, hey, you're losing nothing, right, but muscle. No, you could be losing some weight, right? You could be losing some fat, but it's not all fat loss, okay? So what is fat loss? How do we burn body fat? And then we'll go into the 3 different, body types. Well, for one, once again, your calories and macros need to be on point. You need to make sure you're eating plenty of the right amount of foods, right, for your calorie threshold to burn body fat but not lose muscle. Second, you want to make sure you're eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So once again, you're not losing muscle. And third, you want to make sure you're doing some form of resistance training, okay? So when you focus on all that, guess what? You're going to start burning body fat effectively. Now, here's the reality and here's the punch, okay? It's a slow process. It's long-term sustainability. It's not a quick fix. You are not going to see your body fat drop immediately. You're not going to see the number on the scale drop immediately. Now, there's so many other things that you can do, right, in terms of, like, let's say, walking, sleep, other things about the 7 essential fat loss habits that we go over, right, inside of our coaching program at Heartletics.com, which if you guys want to listen to, or, download the free guide, go visit Heartletics.com. Download that free fat loss guide that goes over the 7 essential fat loss habits. If you want to listen and watch the exclusive coaching training video I made, once again, go visit Heartletics.com. You'll see the free coaching link, and you guys can listen, right, and understand how to apply some of these habits. But you want to make sure you're focusing on burning just the body fat. Because nobody wants to lose a whole bunch of weight, but still not like the way that they look taking off their shirts in public. Still not feeling comfortable about themselves, right? Losing purely the body fat, this is what's going to help you long-term with having more sustained energy. This is what's going to help you with, obviously, other variables in life, with it just being a lot easier for you, you know? So what are the 3 different types of body fat? Now that we know, okay, hey, in order to lose body fat effectively, not just weight loss, right, but burn body fat, hey, focus on those calories, focus on getting a good amount of protein in, focus on doing our strength and resistance training. What is next? The 3 different variables, right, I should say, or 3 different body types when it comes to body fat and how it drops in the body, okay? Now, this is very important. If you guys are listening in on the podcast, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait eventually until this video is made and published to my YouTube channel, which, shameless plug, if you guys not have yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, just go to YouTube, type in Heartletics, or go to heartletics.com. You'll see the link for all the videos. Subscribe, turn on the bell notification. That way you never miss a future video. They're really good. Anyways, let's go into the 3 different types of body fat. Now, once again, if you guys are watching on this YouTube, you guys can see it. On the podcast, I'm going to try my best to explain as best as possible, okay? But 3 different types, and let's say they all start off at 250 pounds. They all want to get down to 200 pounds, right? So for the sake of this, right, person A, person B, person C, they all are 250 pounds, okay? So person A, how it looks like for them is typically they start off at 250 pounds. They then lose a whole bunch of weight in the very beginning, okay? And then what happens is they gain some weight, right? Which is kind of discouraging. And then guess what? They decide to not, right, give up. They decide to push through. They have great coaches in their corner, great people holding them accountable. They signed up for the best coaching program in the world, which is Heartletics. So they decide to keep on pushing through, and they lose even more weight. But then something happens, right, where they gain some more weight back, right? But then they lose even more weight because they didn't give up. So you can see the trends on person A, right? They start off at 250 pounds. They lost some weight. They gained some weight. They lost some weight. They gained some weight. They lost some weight. They gained some weight. They lost some weight. At the end of the day, they finished off at 200 pounds, which is great. But was every single week successful for that individual? Absolutely not, right? If they are the type of person where they're so fixated on the scale and only seeing the number on the scale go down, this is why we always tell our coaching clients, stop caring about the number on the scale. Care on how you look with your shirt off. Care on how you feel naked. That's what matters most. Not at the end of the day, this number on the scale that means absolutely nothing. How you look, how you feel, that's what matters the most, okay? So person A, once again, they had some weeks where they lost some weight, but some weeks where the number on the scale actually went up. But they didn't give up. And at the end of the day, that's what led to them also losing the 50 pounds. Now, person B, okay, this individual starts at 250 pounds. They lose some weight, okay? Then let's say they hit this little plateau, lose some more weight, hit this little plateau, lose some more weight, hit this little plateau, lose some weight, hit this little plateau, lose some weight. Boom. They finish off the program at 200 pounds. Now, for person B, was it sunshine and rainbows every step of the way? Absolutely not. There was weeks, once again, where, guess what? They're doing all the right things. Tracking their macros, hitting their protein, getting their steps, getting their sleep, stress management, everything like that. But guess what? Some weeks, they still hit this little plateau. Some weeks, they did not progress. Some weeks, they did not lose any body fat. And that's okay. It's called metabolic adaptation, people. But just like person B, they signed up with one of the best coaching programs in the world. And we educated that person on how body fat works, specifically on how their body fat percentage works for their trends. They didn't give up. And that's what helped that person start off at 250 pounds. And even though they had some weeks, right, where they hit this stall, they hit this plateau, they didn't give up. They continued to push through, and boom, they made it to 200 pounds. That's person B. So person A, once again, they lose some weight, gain some weight, lose some weight, gain some weight. They don't give up. They reach their goal. Person B, they lose some weight, hit a plateau, lose some weight, hit a plateau, lose some weight, hit a plateau. They don't give up. They reach their goals. Person C, which is me, which is very frustrating. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because you need to understand, like, this is how body fat works. Everybody's different. But odds are you're going to fall into one of these 3 different categories. And if you know these signs and know, hey, as long as you don't give up, you're going to reach your goals. Person C, it works like this. They start off at 250 pounds. They lose some weight. Then they gain some weight. Then they hit this plateau. Then they lose some weight. Then they gain some weight. Then they hit this plateau. Then they lose some weight. Then they gain some weight. They hit this plateau. And then they lose some more weight. So for that person, guess what? Start off at 250 pounds. They finish off the coaching program at 200 pounds. Did they give up? Absolutely not, because they had the best coaching program with the best coaches holding them accountable every step of the way. But you can see for that individual how discouraging it could have been if they were only focused on the number on the scale. They would have gave up weeks ago. Plain and simple. Like, think about it. You're doing all the right things, and some weeks you hit this plateau. Some weeks you actually see the number on the scale go up. You're in your head thinking, like, holy cow, like, what? This is impossible. Like, what does this mean? It's very discouraging at times. But as long as you don't give up, you're going to reach success. This was actually one of the things that Jeremy said on our weekly coaching call to some of the newer members. And as a coach, being on that call, it was really inspiring to hear. You know, Jeremy told everybody, hey, listen, there has been so many weeks where I was doing all the right things, hitting my protein, getting my steps, my water, my workouts, everything like that. But I didn't see any changes. The body fat percentage didn't drop. The number on scale didn't drop. It was discouraging. But Jeremy's a smart man. He knew, hey, this is the long-term game, not the short-term game. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't a fad diet. This is long-term sustainable habits. He realized here that, hey, at the end of the day, I'm enjoying my workouts. I'm enjoying eating all this food. And guess what? Like, I have tons of energy and I'm looking and feeling great. So regardless of what the number on the scale says, I'm not doing anything here that's jeopardizing who I am, my lifestyle. I'm like easily fitting this into my lifestyle. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing and see what happens at the end of the program. And that's exactly what Jeremy did. He was continuing to be persistent, continuing to not give up. And he was sharing that with everybody. He's like, guys, listen. At the end of the day, yeah, some weeks my body fat didn't drop. Some weeks my, this number on the scale did not go down. And at times it could be very discouraging. But, okay, Jeremy also mentioned I stopped caring. The only thing that I cared about was how I looked, how I felt. He's like, man, week over week, even though there wasn't many changes in the body fat percentage, even though there wasn't many changes in the number on the scale, my progress photos are getting dramatically better week after week. And that's what it boils down to, people, is having that clear-cut understanding of how body fat works and having persistence, not giving up, being just like Jeremy, where at the end of the day, you're having fun. You're trusting the process. You understand that the results are going to come. It's when it's going to come, right? But we can never put a timestamp on anything. But it's going to come. It's the inevitable. So, guys, when it comes down to burning body fat, don't get discouraged. Like, hear me out. If you're doing the right things to burn body fat and not lose weight, don't give up. Continue to push through. You're going to start seeing the results you're looking for. Understand the 3 different types of body fat percentage trends within individuals. That's going to help you out tremendously with the right mindset, knowing that, hey, some weeks you're not going to win all the time. And that's okay, because it's the long game. You're not trying to win the battle. You're trying to win the war here. And that war is against body fat. And when you successfully win that war, guess what? That's when you have more confidence. That's when you have more energy. That's when you start living your best life. You start feeling great. If you guys want any more tips and tricks on how to successfully do that within yourself, go visit Heartletics.com. Like I said, we have a whole bunch of different free resources and trainings there at the website for you guys to view. But other than that, I really hope you guys got some inspiration for today's episode. And if you did, drop a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe and share this also with a friend or family, maybe on social media as well, if you guys got any value at all. At the end of the day, don't give up, people, and I promise you, you're going to reach your goals. With that being said, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scout.